Hey guys, we're gonna just play a quick practice game with Jeskai Flash that I just threw together, just to see how it competes. Even though they're not super competitive games. Man, you're not gonna let me cancel. Okay. We're just gonna see how it plays real quick before we enter like competitively. I figure one game isn't gonna hurt too bad to figure that out. One land. This looks like a mulligan. This looks considerably better. We'll go ahead and keep this, and we'll scry Spell Queller to the top. Going to lead on Flooded Strand, getting Steam Vents. In this deck, we want to bias more towards red than we did in previous decks. Most of the time, we don't have double red spells, perhaps a Storm Breath Dragon or something like that being our only thing. Let me play my land, please. In this deck, we have 2 copies of Kiki-Control, so we want to make sure we keep up an appropriate amount of red to play those spells. Blue-black could imply Lantern. It could imply a Soul-Tide control deck, a blue-black control deck. The Serum Visions more likely implies control than anything. Thoughtseize, this might be like Death Shadow, or just a Grixis control deck, something like that. Just gonna let this resolve. They're likely gonna take Spell Queller or Logic Knot. We'll go ahead and crack this getting Steam Vents, then we'll probably just play the next Flooded Strand next turn. Our opponent, I'm not sure what they're doing, maybe they're copying down our hand. Magic Online is lagging drastically for us. We're going to get this, get it tapped, and F6. I think, Colonnade's interesting though. I do want to keep up the ability to counter spells, so I'm just going to play this Flooded Strand. It also keeps just a little bit of information hidden from our opponent. We're going to go get Steam Vents again this turn. Spreading Seas, targeting Steam Vents. Do I want to fight over that? Spreading Seas isn't generally a card I like to fight over, but since it denies our opponent a draw, I'm going to go ahead and do it. Going to get Steam Vents again here. Yes, I would like to pay the 2 life. Not sure if it was correct to fight over that or not, but I want to make sure we keep our mana because we're pretty constrained with some of our mana decisions. Here we're going to play Colonnade so that we can play Restoration Angel and tap next turn. Or play Glacial Fortress so that we have the option to cast Restoration Angel if that's what we decide to do. Another Spreading Seas, this one's definitely going to resolve. We can't do anything about it. That's fine. Okay, so our opponent hit their land drop. I think we are going to go ahead and bolt them. They'll let that resolve immediately. If we find a black source off the top, we win this game on our next turn, assuming they don't have any type of interaction to deal with this, which may be a lot to assume. But it is nice to have that feeling. I don't normally play combo decks, so it's not something I'm really used to having. It seems to me like they're representing cryptic commands, so we're just not going to expose the Restoration Angel to that. Instead, we're just going to go ahead and try to Helix them. Path was probably not our best draw. We'd really like to find at least one more land. Our opponent continuing to hit their land drops. I think we're just going to go ahead and run out Resto this turn, mostly just because we don't have anything better to do. This is going to get countered more than likely. Cryptic. Yeah, okay. Drawing another one's pretty good. They may have a removal spell for it. I think we once again just want to play it on their turn. Although giving our opponent the opportunity to untap is pretty bad. Which is more likely, that they have an answer to Restoration Angel or that they have a counter spell? I feel like a counter spell is more likely. So I'm going to play this out. They have a fetch land and a Fatal Push. That's an answer to Restoration Angel. Okay, that doesn't bode well for us. Yeah, fetch land, Fatal Push. Not great for us. Kind of played ourselves into a position though that was one of our only lines. We just pass here. I'm not certain at this point how our opponent plans to win the game, but they definitely have full control over the game, so likely whenever the time comes they will turn the corner quickly. Land. Snapcaster Mage isn't bad by any means. I'm not just going to run it out of there. If they want to let us continue to draw cards, I'm more than happy to do that, since we were behind on card advantage. And in terms of lands and cards in hand, we still are, but in terms of just cards in hand, we're a little better off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more land allows us to activate Colonnade. Mountain. Gonna pass again. I think it may be time for us to Snapcaster Mage. I think we'll hold off a little bit longer until we have Counterspell in hand, perhaps. At this point, I'm pretty happy just waiting to see what our opponent tries to do and whether or not we have the answer for it before we commit more of our resources to the board. I'd like our opponent to tap down before we try to go for anything too spectacular. One, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7. Ashiok resolves. Got a Torrential Gearhulk. That is fantastic. Easily one of the best things for him to find. We're going to go ahead and try to run out Snapcaster this turn. Snapcaster Mage will target Lightning Helix. Lightning Helix will target our opponent. Yeah. Takes our opponent down to 6. No, I just want to target them with it. Sacred Foundry would have been game right there, assuming they don't have another counterspell. I think it's pretty likely that they have a Fatal Push in hand. So I don't want to animate this Colonnade. They can't play the Torrential Gearhulk next turn, but the turn after that, they likely can. I'm very tempted to just try to run out Kiki-Jiki here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We could run out the Sacred Foundry first to play around Mana Leak. Considering what our life total's at, I think that's fine. We're just playing it as a 2-2 with haste, which is fine. This is a go for the throat. Hero's Downfall. Opponent has 1 card left in hand. We're at 7. We could be at 8 lands. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and let that resolve. Really just looking for our burn spell off the top of our deck. Opponent's going to plus Ashiok. 3 cards entered the exiled area. Why are they not under Ashiok? That is what I would like to know. Opponent has 2 cards in hand. Counterspell. At this point, I think we're going to animate the Colonnade. More because we have nothing better to do. Gonna tap it down or bounce it because we already played our land. Yeah, that was the mistake on our part. I'm not gonna path it, which was an option. Pass back to our opponent. We did already play a land that turn, I hope. Or not that I hope that that happened, but more that I didn't try to play this Colonnade again. I'm pretty sure I played one of these islands this turn. Four mana, Jace, resolves. Taking a split second to think about that though. Our opponent I think I'm gonna do it that way so that our opponent thinks we want them to take Inquisition. It's also possible they just try to take us off white, which is pretty much fine. Because they're not going to manage to take us off white. Oh god, they got our combo. We can literally make our combo off of Ashiok at this point. Burn spell. That's a burn spell as far as I'm concerned. Our opponent has 3 cards in hand, one of them being a Spreading Seas. We're just going to pass. guessing our opponent is going to Spreading Seas or Colonnade this turn. In response to that, we're going to use a Snapcaster Mage. Target Lightning Bolt. I think we'd probably go ahead and bolt our opponent before they draw their card off of Spreading Seas. No, I don't. No. I just want to try to kill my opponent. Thank you very much. I want them to have to take Bitter Blossom. So this is definitely the play. Which they're going to take the Snapcaster Mage anyway, but... Yep. Opponent took the Snapcaster Mage. Which pretty much protects them from any of our shenanigans with the amount of mana they have up. They're going to cast the Torrential Gearhulk. Guessing they're going to target Cryptic Command. Targeting Go for the Throat. I'm just going to try to take care of this right now, because it's going to be a problem. It's also possible I should have just pathed our own Snapcaster Mage in response to the Go for the Throat being cast. And then use Supreme Verdict to finish up the Torrential Gearhulk. We really just want to find a burn spell off the top. They do have Snapcaster Mage in hand, so we're not going to fire it off immediately. Okay. Sure. That is fine by me. You make it so you can't use your fetch lands. I'm more than happy to hear that, too. I'm not going to cast this Restoration Angel until I absolutely have to, I think. It looks like I might have to. That's fine. We're going to wait to their end step and try to cast Lightning Helix followed by Restoration Angel. More than likely. Could have done it on their upkeep. That was probably smarter because that meant that they had one less card in hand. However, there's a chance they got down some here. Go for this. Wait, red. They have to respond to this, which is likely going to be Snapcaster Mage Cryptic Command. Gonna let the Snapcaster Mage resolve with the Cryptic Command on the stack. I'm gonna flash in the Restoration Angel. This is going to be counter draw or counter bounce. See, I think they actually misplayed there. I think it should have been counter bounce. Restoration Angel resolves. They may already have a kill spell in hand for that, which it appears they do. Yep. But now they're tapped down pretty low in the event that I draw a Lightning Bolt. Did I get there? I think we did, judging by the fact that they didn't just immediately respond to that. Alright, so this is the control matchup. Don't have an extremely intensive sideboard for this deck, however, few things are immediately apparent as great control options. Surgical Extraction's a consideration. I don't think we want to keep in the combo against control. I could be wrong, maybe just one of. I like one of. Blessed Alliance seems pretty weak. Path to Exile also doesn't seem great. I'm going to board this all out. They're going to bring in something great on the offensive, and then I'm going to be really sad. Spell Snare seems fine because it hits Snapcaster Mage. Supreme Verdict doesn't seem great. Let's bring in the rest of this for that. Commandeer isn't probably a great card in the matchup. However, I will gladly just steal a Ashiok or a Cryptic Command or something like that. I think that's my plan for now. Ashiok probably isn't great against this deck. I don't think we saw a single creature other than Snapcaster Mage. Hand seems fine. I also really don't want to mulligan against another control deck, so we're going to keep it. Our opponent being on the play is good for him since he's in black. We are going to, so we could lead on Colonnade, however that exposes it to a Spreading Seas. I think we are just going to lead on Hallowed Fountain tap. Hopefully this will get Spreading Seas right away. We have a couple of different axes we can attack on here, which is always a good thing. Playing out the Arid Mesa, we're going to go get a Steam Vents. If he tries to play a 3-drop like Liliana or something, we have the Logic Knot to back that up. On his end step, we're going to go get our Steam Vents. Elspeth was a pretty good draw. I think now is the turn when we play the Colonnade. Now we want to find more lands off the top of our deck. That's pretty much our main objective at this point. Crucible Worlds would also be a great draw if our opponent decides to tap out here. They did not, and they're representing Cryptic Mana. Field of Ruin's pretty good. We could play Field of Ruin or Sulphur Falls. I'm going to play Sulphur Falls so that we're not representing our Crucible Worlds Field of Ruin combo. We're a little less on the Restoration Angel Kiki-Jiki plan, so I am tempted to run that out just to get them to tap down. But I think we're going to save that for a turn. So we just want to make sure we want to hit our next land drop. So we're actually going to try to get an Electrolyze to resolve, because I think they should probably let it resolve. I definitely think it's correct to let this resolve. They did. Okay. Land. Okay, so we hit our land, so we're going to play the Celestial Colonnade. So that gets us to 5 lands. On our opponent's end step, we're going to bring out this Restoration Angel. It's going to get countered, and then we're going to get to slam Elspeth the next turn. Which they do have Hero's Downfall in their deck, but This may just be an activated Field of Ruin. Bitter Blossom. Do I want to fight over Bitter Blossom? I probably do. Cancel. They have 4 mana up. I could go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can only get to 4. So I guess we just let this resolve. And we're still on our Slam Restoration Angel plan. This is going to get countered with the Cryptic. Ooh, it didn't. Interesting. Gonna attack first. It's very tempting to leave Elspeth up until we have Dispel mana up, but I'm not gonna do that. Is this gonna get countered? The fact that it's on the stack so long suggests that it's not, because this is definitely something you just counter right away, or you don't counter it at all. We're going to plus. Here's Downfall. Yep. Can't say I'm surprised by that. We probably should have waited until we could have also held up Counter Magic, but we've got a decent looking board. And our opponent is keeping in Bitter Blossom. This Jace Nation. Wow. They got us well. Got us so well. Crucible of Worlds. Restoration Angel's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I think we just go for Snapcaster, Electrolyze next turn, or possibly we just Helix. But regardless, we're not doing anything on our turn, so we'll pass. We're basically never attacking with Celestial Colonnade against a black deck, unless we know they don't have Fatal Push in hand. Seeing this Bitter Blossom, I'm definitely boarding in is it Static Caster next turn. Not sure pace. I'm pretty happy to get the Logic Knot Jace, I think. I'll go ahead and do that. We're going to go blue, blue, blue. So that's X is currently 1. We want it to be 3, so we'll get rid of Arid Mesa and Elspeth. Actually, let's not do that. Let's uncheck. I don't know how to undelve things. That was probably fine, actually, because we'll just Helix them on end of turn. Sorry about that, opponent. I'm a little slow sometimes. And we're going to get rid of these two. We're leaving up Dispel plus Helix, as well as Mana Leak. Mana. Gonna go ahead and Helix our opponent. I'm pretty sure our opponent's gonna die to Bitter Blossom this game. I'm pretty happy to just pass here. We could Helix for the sake of our opponent not having enough mana. I think I'll Helix them on upkeep before they have an extra card in hand. Helix resolved. Very tempted to just Snapcaster Helix, which is what I'm going to do. Takes them down to 2. I could also Snapcaster Electrolyze, but I'm going to do Helix because then I can keep up Dispel. Our opponent goes to 2 off of Bitter Blossom, which means they have to keep one of these back. We played pretty aggressively this game, which may or may not be a mistake. With our opponent at 2 and a Bitter Blossom, I can't imagine. Does this return target? Yeah, it's creature, not non-land permanent, so I'm not as... I thought maybe he could bounce his Bitter Blossom. So our opponent has 2 turns to kill us. He is dealing us, which is something it's actually what I consider to be the most powerful mode on Jace the Mind Sculptor, and a reason that I'm considering only wanting to play decks that have Thought Scour in them. So here we have Celestial Colonnade and Dispel up, so I'm pretty sure this game is just over. What do we draw? What did they allow us to have? Mountain? Fine by me. Guess we should have done this on our upkeep. One, two, three, four, five. We go to 6 land. They are gonna Field of Ruin. I don't know, they're just tapping for 1. I would have 100% Field of Ruined one of my lands in response to that. You get an island. Put a stop on my turn here. Make him lose this mana. He apparently has the Fatal Push. And he did it at the correct time. I'm just going to go ahead and do this, because why not? Still considering attacking with the Snapcaster Mage, just to force the chump block. But I don't think I'm going to. We'll go ahead and just yield through our next few phases. Basically saying you have to kill me this turn, which may have been a reason not to tap out. I don't think there's anything out of blue-black that immediately comes to mind that can kill me from 27 in 1 turn. Especially not Spreading Seas. Spreading Seas and Jace seems like kind of a non-bow, because you know you're just drawing cards that you already put on top of your deck. But maybe I'm wrong, maybe that's just a complete combo. You have to be able to bounce this Bitter Blossom, or... yeah, you just died a Bitter Blossom now. Unless you have a Cryptic Command in hand. Can I bounce other people's creatures with Resto? No. But I can bounce Snapcaster, and he's tapped out, and I have an Electrolyze in my graveyard. So, this seems like the game is locked up. I'm just going to go ahead and get my planes. Go 1, 2. Making sure I don't mistap my mana. Sounds like a Snapcaster Mage. Yes. Targeting Electrolyze. I guess he could have, like, what is that spell called? Disrupting Shoal or whatever. Just do both of them there. Red, blue, blue. No, I don't want to redirect that, She-Hulk. No, I don't want to redirect that, Chase. Alright. Well, guys, that was our first game ever with this Jeskai Flash, Restoration Angel, Kiki combo deck. We got to play against Chase the Mind Sculptor, even though we just entered a practice league, or not league, but practice match. So that was, I think, a reasonable test. I believe that deck was posted on Channel Fireball not too long ago. It may have been Frank Karsten that posted that, but I can't remember for sure, so don't hold me to it. We'll come back with League with this deck shortly. I just want to kind of fine-tune the sideboard, make sure everything's all set up the way we'd like, and then we'll be back with the League. So, thank you for watching.